things emotional. In fact, I was surprised yesterday. Thoroughly surprised. When I was watching politics today, Seun, if there was any way to break the screen, I would have shot him.
I'll commit murder.
In 5 feet, we'll get to him. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. No, so what I'm saying. No, the point I'm saying is how you can take yourself, the interviewer, saying that we cannot allow this only one party to do. Look, I said, what is this? I'm coming. You are an interviewer. You are not telling them your own view that how can they be there and make it to allow one party in this country. We will not. I was just taken aback. I know the point I'm trying to make. There's nothing wrong. You are the interviewer asking questions. How would you have allowed this kind of thing to happen? Now you are not the one coming out in a national television making that kind of which means you've already taken a position, which is not right. That's the point I'm trying to make. So I'm not saying I should be going to give. No, what I'm trying to say, the anger that how could an interviewer, the anchor person, be making such a statement? And I said, this is not the kind of journalism I have seen people. I watch other stations.
Hello, everyone. So what you just watched there is that supposed to be a minister, directly coming out to threaten a journalist. I mean, sometimes we joke so much over things. I could hear the female in that amongst the journalists, saying, "Oh, he didn't." No, because when people tell us who they are, we should believe them. We should stop making excuses for them. That's one of the things that we do and do so wrongly in this country. We make excuses for people, especially when people are in power or they have means. We will do everything to say, "Oh no, that's not what they meant. That's not what they said. That's this, that's that." But that same grace, we do not apply it to where people don't have money or connection or any of those things. We are ready to clamp down on someone when they are poor, when they don't have connection, when they are vulnerable. But the ones that seem to be rich will make all manner and all sorts of excuses for those people. This thing that Wike said, honestly, if it was a country where there was rule of law, in short, it is enough for someone to resign. But hey, over here, people will begin to give you all manner of things that are going on. But anyway, all of these things has to do with ADC. ADC has become that threat that APC and its members, are so afraid of and so scared about. I have said it severally that the 30-something governors that they are always telling you that they have, it's actually because they know they no longer have the people and they're looking for anything that will give them an illusion of power, an illusion of being in control, when in essence, they are absolutely nothing. And you've seen how the judiciary and INEC are being used as a weapon. Of course, they've always been available, weapon of oppression that are used against political parties. And I think listening to Femi Falana, he made such great points. And one of the things that he did say was that Nigerians should no longer be focused on saying that, oh, it is either APC or Tinubu that are trying to make, Nigeria a one-party state, but rather it is the judiciary, because without all of these kangaroo judgments that the judiciary constantly puts out, then there will be nothing that the likes of INEC will be able to hinge on to come up to some ridiculous and heinous judgment that they are making. This person that they've said, oh, he didn't resign, he did this. There are so many reports from his own Facebook account. The thing about social media where people constantly are posting things, about themselves, what they're doing, is that it ends up documenting these things online. Social media is literally almost like a diary, an open diary that you have out there. And, people document their lives by just putting it there, oh, this happened, that happened. And you could see how he showed his excitement at the fact that David Mark was coming out. And then all of a sudden, you're seeing, him coming out to say that, oh no, he did not resign, he did not do this, he's that. That's all. You know what it is, obvious actually. It's just a matter of craziness. But the most surprising thing, although it's not surprising, it's expected, but it's just that you wouldn't expect them to show their hands this early. Is saying this same man, all of a sudden he has special advisors and speakers, and and it just constantly just shows the hands that is behind all of this. And the most important thing is that for Nigerians, we need to stand our ground down. We need to let some people know that Nigeria belongs to all of us. It's not a monarchy. And some people who unfortunately think that they are smart. You know that thing about where people are very foolish, but they are acting as if they are smart and going on. That's basically what we're seeing currently, in Nigeria. And it is left for us as citizens to fight this, to not allow this. No Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigeria. And we cannot sit down and allow our country to be turned into a slave camp or a concentration camp where people can be treated anyhow. But just looking at it, honestly, it's just crazy that a minister will sit down. And by the way, I don't even blame him. A so-called minister though. I don't even blame Wike one way, because they have a reporter that will sit down on chair, he sits them down, and then he runs his mouth. You know that kind of running of mouth that you run and nobody is stopping you, nobody is there to contradict you or bring out facts. Even when he's not factual, they are not fact checking to say, hey, look, this is not it, this is not that. But I think part of the things that Wike should focus on will focus on the security in Abuja, focus on ensuring infrastructure get to a lot of places. Abuja is not just, the city center. It's not just Asokoro, Maitama, Guzape, and the likes. Abuja is a whole lot of places where development have not reached. And if you're driving, just drive like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes away from the city center. You'll be shocked at the things that you would see. You'll be shocked, at what you see in terms of lack of development. You're wondering, are you still in Abuja or you've gone to some villages, out there? Those are the things that should concern. I recently went to Gwarimpa General Hospital, had a patient that I took there. And by the way, the staff, fantastic. You could see the passion in the way that they did their work and all of that. But you could see limitations for something, for a hospital that is serving one of the biggest wards in Abuja, the biggest probably in Nigeria. You see how limited it is, and the things that you're having to off the light in a hospital. They have to off the light. Literally, surgeons have to beg, just put on the light, put on the there for them to finish operation. And then, of course, the management is crying and say, what if this generator breaks down? You're seeing how, how do I put it now? The inadequate, equipment that are there. You've seen the few hands that are there. You've seen, work that is supposed to be done probably by 3, 4 people in terms of shift. One person is carrying the burden of it all. Those are the kind of things that Mr. Wike should focus on, and just leave whatever it is that Seun is talking about. Let him leave ADC alone and focus on his PDP. But the thing about all of this is that the people think that they will remain in power forever. I say the likes of Babangida. Anytime I see him in a wheelchair, it reminds me of how fickle power is and how transient it is. These were men who once upon a time they reign over Nigeria. You know what it is to have that military power, what military is all about. Once upon a time. But today they are just in one place. They can't even move everywhere. But hey, some people who are currently in there, they take their oppressors, dictators, and they will live forever and do whatever it is that they want to do. They forget that before they got into those offices, there were others who got in there. Thank you so much for watching.